Tax. It's not everyone's favorite subject, but without it, we wouldn't have access to quality public services like education for our kids, hospitals for our families, and public roads to drive around on. This isn't just good for workers. Research consistently shows that it's great for business to have a highly trained, highly skilled, and healthy workforce. Public investment can play a key role in innovation. You see, companies like Apple try and convince us that products like the iPhone are a direct result of private sector ingenuity. But let's take a look. While Steve Jobs was still fiddling around with computers in his garage, his company received a $500,000 small business grant funded by the taxpayer. And since then, Apple's products have benefited from heaps of public-funded development, like the lithium battery, or GPS, invented by the US military, or the LCD screen, developed by the US Science Foundation, or HTTP technology, invented by the EU-funded CERN project. And after stuffing their phones full of public sector know-how, Apple then turns around and decides to avoid over $50 billion by keeping their money in offshore accounts. Now that's rotten. Now when it comes to workers and small businesses, we pay our fair share. But like Apple, some of the world's biggest players don't. Let's take Mr. McDonald, for example. Mr. McRonald. Mr. McRonald is one of the world's richest businessmen. I'm really rich. Now imagine how much Mr. McRonald's business would suck if his staff didn't know how to read or write. Or if they were constantly sick. Or if there were no roads to drive his products around on. All of Mr. McRonald's employees pay their fair share of tax directly out of their wages every month, but Mr. McRonald doesn't. You see, he uses a wide global network of tax havens and loopholes to shift his money to what bankers call offshore financial centers, like the Cayman Islands, where corporations pay 0% tax. And this creates a range of problems for his workers. Firstly, the share of the tax bill paid by the working class increases to plug the hole which their boss made. And then governments are forced to privatize public services and cut costs, which leads to rising user charges and declining standard of living for the average Joe.
And Josephina.
But that's not all. When workers enter into wage negotiations with Mr. McRonald, he claims he can't afford to increase salaries because he's not making any profits, even though he has plenty of money stashed away tax-free in the Cayman Islands.
Please, sir, can you pay a bit more?
Nope, not a chance. And Mr. McRonald is not alone. Conservative estimates put the total amount of money stashed away in tax havens at over $20 trillion. Now that's enough to give a $3,000 end-of-year bonus to every single person on Earth. This is part of the reason why inequality is rising worldwide, why workers in many countries haven't seen their wages increase despite sustained growth, why fat cats keep getting fatter while the poor pay the price. And just imagine, all that money sitting underneath the mountains of Switzerland or the beaches of the Cayman Islands could instead be used to reinvest in our economies, to employ new doctors, new road workers, new teachers.
Wait, are you trying to say that making big corporations pay taxes would actually create jobs?
Yep.
But that's not what they keep telling us.
No, and I wonder why. So how can we stop these shifty swindlers? Well, there's a new movement gaining support across the world. The campaign for tax justice. The idea is that we tell our governments that we're sick of corporations and the mega rich avoiding their taxes while their workers pick up the bill. Unions and activist organizations can play a key role in engaging and educating workers and the general public, as well as convincing politicians to stop letting these guys get away with it. So learn more, get involved, and join the fight to make sure that dirty dodgers like Mr. McRonald start paying their fair share of tax. Oh.